Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel where I talk all about self-improvement. Today I am going to spill everything I know about journaling. Journaling has single-handedly changed my life. It is the most transformative tool I have ever used. On my journey of personal growth, it has fueled me so much. I recommend it to every single person who I talk to. Seriously. Since this is such a powerful tool and I want you to have access to all the great things it has to offer, I am going to break it down for you. First things first, what exactly is journaling? At its core, journaling is writing down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences on paper. It helps you keep track of events that are happening in your life. It helps you gain insights about yourself and the world. It helps you process your emotions. There are so many benefits from journaling, and just so you understand how good this is for you, I want to go over a couple of them. Firstly, it reduces stress and anxiety. If you're like me and you are prone to building up a lot of anxiety and holding stress in the body, writing down your emotions and expressing them is such a good way to alleviate that stress. You can take all that energy that's building up inside of you and pour it onto that paper. The next benefit is enhanced self-awareness, and this is my favorite benefit. Self-awareness is everything. It's everything. Now, I don't want to go on too much of a rant, but basically we are here to understand ourselves. This whole life journey all comes down to self-awareness, understanding yourself, breaking down your ego, understanding your character, all of that. Journaling allows you to explore your thoughts and feelings more freely. It's a tool that actually allows you to dig deep into your mind, because you can just self-reflect in your head and you can think about things, but chances are you aren't going to be able to go as deep as you could on paper. There's something about having your thoughts placed out right in front of you. You can actually see it. That's when you can actually start to notice patterns in your thinking. You can identify things that you didn't even realize was going on in your mind, but you can actually see it now that it's on paper. You can identify your limiting beliefs. You can uncover your true values, your desires. All of these things that are a bit deeper within us, they come out and you shine a light on them when you write about them. All of this helps you understand yourself so much more. And understanding yourself is what leads you to accepting yourself. Accepting yourself is what leads you to loving yourself. Loving yourself is what leads you to loving others. Do you see the importance? Anyway, the next benefit is that it boosts your creativity. When you are allowing those thoughts to flow through you, you are creating space for new ideas to come. Isn't that amazing? And of course, journaling helps you with your problem solving, because when you're writing about issues that you're currently facing in your life, it helps you see them in a different light. It helps you open up new perspectives to your eyes, and you can start solving problems in different ways that you might not have thought of before. I know, if I'm going through anything, you best believe it's in my journal, and I'm trying to figure out ways that I can support myself through it. The last benefit that I want to stress the importance of is emotional healing. The way that journaling helps you process your difficult emotions is like nothing else. Speaking from my own experience, I would say that journaling was the one thing that made me as emotionally intelligent as I am today. Because anytime I was going through a really negative experience and I was holding these negative emotions, I would pour them into the pages and I would really just allow myself to express and get it out. Then I would read over it and I would try to understand myself. I would sit with those emotions, allow them to be, and see what I could learn from them. See what they were teaching me about myself, about my innermost thoughts, beliefs, values, attitudes, everything. And then once I process everything, I would shift my mindset from negative to positive. I would allow all those emotions to pass, and then I would guide myself back to a way of positive thinking. After a couple years of learning how to do that over and over again, anytime I felt a great deal of negative emotions, this process became more automatic for me. And now I don't need my journal to emotionally regulate myself. Can you imagine how helpful that is when you are dealing with something so difficult? To allow yourself to express those emotions, feel them, learn from them, and then guide yourself back to a positive mindset. Guide yourself back to love. It's a skill. It's a skill. And that is a skill that you want. I'm telling you, that is a skill that you want. And if journaling is going to take you a step closer to achieving that, then you best believe you better be focusing on that. I just want to talk briefly on my own experience with journaling. I started journaling at a very, very young age. I remember anytime I was feeling stressed, I would go to my journal and I would rant about it. And I genuinely believe this is the reason why I'm so self-aware today. People always come up to me and they tell me, you're so wise, how do you know so much for your age? You're so self-aware, how is this possible? I genuinely believe it's because of my journal. Two things, my journal and my curiosity. This level of journaling that I'm referring to that enhances your self-awareness, it's not just surface level journaling about, oh, I went to the beach today with my friends, it was so fun. Yesterday my family came over for dinner, I love them so much. Not that type of journaling. It's the journaling where you are exploring yourself. That's why I said curiosity, because you're curious about what's going on inside your own brain. You want to pick apart your own life story and how that created you. You want to go deep and really understand everything that you can about yourself. You learn so much more than what is just at the surface of your identity. You can explore your subconscious mind, identifying thought patterns, behaviors, habits, triggers, limiting beliefs, literally everything to piece together the story of what makes you. Like I said before, I learned how to transform all of my negative energy into positive energy by observing my thoughts and observing my emotions and reframing them. So the point of this video is I want to move away from using journaling to just recap our daily lives. Yes, that can be fun, but it's not exactly useful. What I want to discuss with you is using journaling as a strategic tool to take a step towards self-discovery and personal growth. To take a step towards taking control over your mind, becoming powerful, becoming the person that you dreamed of becoming. Also, I just want to say, I'm sorry if there's background noise. Somebody is mowing their lawn when I decide to film. Now that you understand the importance of journaling, I want to go over a couple of techniques for you so you understand how to journal. We've covered the why, now let's cover the how. And you can do these in a book or in a digital journal. Personally, I use a digital journal. I actually use the app Notion to journal. The reason for that being is because it's more convenient, I can access it all the time, and I type as fast as I think, so it's good. I can't write, it takes too long, it hurts my hands, I just prefer typing. So if you're like me, you should definitely explore Notion. I might even put a screenshot of my actual journal template right here so you can gain a little bit of an understanding of what that looks like for me. The first technique, my personal favorite, is free writing. Basically, all you're doing is just letting your thoughts flow freely on the paper. Anything that you are thinking, feeling, you just express it all. By doing this, you increase your awareness of your innermost thoughts and feelings. When you are just in the energy of the flow and you are allowing it to pour out of you, you are going to write things that you may not have realized you were holding on to. This is great for releasing emotions and expressing yourself because nobody is going to read it. You can be your entire true, authentic self. It's art, it's just the expression of yourself through words. And don't hold back, don't judge yourself. That's such a key thing here. Do not judge yourself. Just allow it to flow and observe. Observe what you are thinking. Don't worry about holding back. Don't worry about being too mean. Don't worry about saying things that you might regret. If you're stuck in these negative emotions and you want to express it, express it. This is good. It's good to let it out and it's good to be able to see what's actually going on up here. And once you have this release of negative emotions, you can actually read it over and then you will be able to realize that you were just in a negative thought spiral. In the present moment, you're actually okay. Even if it feels like everything's falling down and everything sucks right now, you realize you're okay. You're surviving, you're breathing, you're healthy, you're good. You're just going through a negative thought loop. Once you identify that, you can usually pull yourself out of it. And you can even read it over and question the validity of your thoughts. Question, is this actually true how I'm feeling? Do I have evidence to support these thoughts that I'm thinking about myself or other people? Or at least just the consequences of really negative emotions that I'm conjuring up within myself. I have learned so much about myself and my mindset from just writing all of my feelings, reading it back over, and literally questioning myself. I'll read something, I'll be like, why did I write that? Do I really think that about myself? Do I really believe that? Is that really what I value? You can keep journaling about those questions, write down those questions and dive even deeper. Explore. Explore. It's all about exploration here. I know it sounds really scary to explore your mind, but it's so fun. You gotta love the challenge. You gotta love the uncomfortability of it. You gotta love the journey of understanding yourself. Even if it's a little bit difficult, it's a little bit scary. Yes, you're going to face some deeper fears, some deeper thoughts, some parts of yourself that you might be suppressing a little bit. But it's beautiful to shine light on these things and deepen your self-awareness. Also, this is one of my favorite things about free writing is when you look over your journals after a couple years' time, you can literally watch your evolution. Watch the evolution of your mindset. It's such a beautiful thing to have that on paper. The next technique is journaling prompts. This is such a good technique to use if you want to dive deep. because free writing is really good to identify patterns and just identify things, right, and explore a little bit. But if you want to really get to the root of things, prompts are going to be your best friend. What these are, they are just specific questions or statements that guide you to exploring certain parts of yourself. They provide you a starting point from which then you can continue writing and you can do your own exploration. There are journal prompts for literally everything. You could Google journal prompts for self-love, self-discovery, self-confidence, for creativity, for gratitude, for emotional processing, for goal setting, shadow work, inner child healing, forgiveness, everything. So use this technique for when you want to get into the specifics of something. I would recommend doing a lot of free writing, and that way you can identify which parts of your mindset are lacking just based on recurring thought patterns and connecting themes. And then you can take that information and get specific guided journal prompts that will help you explore those areas. With that being said, I want to touch on shadow work. Now, this is a deep form of journaling. This is such a powerful tool. I just love it. I'm sure you've heard of shadow work before, but if you're unsure about what it means, I'll quickly go over it for you. Shadow work is basically exploring the shadow self, and the shadow self is the parts of ourselves that we hide, dislike, or suppress. It really just refers to the unconscious parts of ourselves that contain repressed emotions, desires, fears, beliefs, anything that we really feel shame towards. And what shadow work does is it shines a light on these parts of ourselves to enhance our awareness around it, and then gives us the opportunity to show love to these areas. We want to acknowledge all of these hidden parts of ourselves with love and then integrate them into our conscious awareness. This is the real deep work when it comes to personal growth, because this is difficult. But this is the key to understanding yourself next level. Shadow work will change your life. So if you're interested in peeling back all the layers of your character and really understanding all of the parts of you and showing love to all of those parts and deepening your acceptance for everything that makes you, you, then you should really look into shadow work. You can Google shadow work journal prompts, and that is the best way to get started. Trust me, you will not regret it. The next technique for journaling is bullet journaling. This method is more visual. It's on paper and it combines words with visual elements like pictures, symbols, doodles, drawings, all of that fun stuff. This form of journaling isn't for self-reflection. It's more for your organization, your goal setting. You may have seen these all over Pinterest. I know that I have. I'll actually put some photos right here so that you can see some examples if you've never really had a bullet journal before or you've never seen one. But they are actually a really good tool to keep track of everything that's going on in your life. And not only that, they're also very fun. Just the nature of bullet journals, they're very fun, very colorful, very visual. So if you are really artsy, this might be a great journal for you. I used to be into bullet journaling when I was a bit younger, and I would put all of my monthly goals in there. I would put like a reading tracker, I would put a movie tracker, I'd put a habit tracker, I would put in my favorite quotes, I would put in my favorite songs. It was just such a cute little artsy expression of me and what was going on in my brain at the time. It's such a beautiful thing, I think, and if you have the time to do it, I would recommend doing it, because you can look back on those types of things and they're so cute. They're such a fun way to keep yourself organized, and it's such a great hobby that helps with your organizational skills and your productivity. The final form of journaling that I want to cover today is gratitude journaling, and it's pretty simple. It just involves writing down things that you are grateful for on a regular basis. It's a very simple yet powerful practice. I've spoken a bit about gratitude journaling before, and what it does is it shifts your mindset from a place of lack to abundance. Instead of focusing on what you don't have in your life and what's going wrong and what just sucks, you start focusing on the things that you do have, what you can be grateful for, all the positivity that does exist in your life, all of the abundance. And shifting from the lack to the abundant mindset will work wonders for you in your life. You literally start training your brain to think more positively. If you struggle with negative thoughts, this is definitely a form of journaling that you want to consider. It's such a great little addition to your morning routine. Drink your coffee and do your 5-minute journaling. I think this form of journaling is becoming a lot more common. Within the wellness space, at least, I see a lot more people talking about it, which makes me so happy, because everybody should be gratitude journaling. If you aren't soaking in the energy of gratitude every day, what are you doing? That was all the techniques. Now, a tip that I have for you is to try to incorporate as many of these into your life as you can. You don't need to stick to just one, try them all. They are all beneficial in their own ways, as you can see. So just try out what works best for you. Now that we've covered our why and our how, I want to go over what. Like what to journal about, because that might be an area that some people get stuck. So I'm going to list a couple of journal prompts for a few different areas that you could explore and this will help you get started. For self-reflection, ask yourself, what is something I learned from a recent challenge? Describe a moment I felt proud of myself and why. For gratitude, ask yourself, what are 3 things I'm grateful for today? Who is someone I appreciate and why? For emotional processing, write about a recent experience that triggered strong emotions for you. What emotions did you feel and how did you express or cope with them? Explore a recurring emotion or pattern that you've been experiencing lately. What might be underlying this emotion and how can you address it in a healthy way? For self-love, reflect on a time when you showed yourself compassion and kindness. How did you nurture yourself and how can you continue to prioritize self-care in your daily life? Imagine yourself as your own best friend. What words of encouragement or support would you offer yourself in this moment of need? For shadow work, explore a negative trait or behavior that you've noticed in yourself. What might be the underlying cause of this trait and how does it impact your life? Reflect on a pattern or habit that you've been struggling to change. What emotions or fears might be driving this behavior and how can you address them in a healthy way? For inner child healing, reflect on a time in your childhood where you felt scared, alone, or misunderstood. What emotions did you experience and how did they impact your sense of worth and belonging? Imagine your inner child standing before you. What would they need to hear from you to feel loved, accepted, and safe? Write a letter of reassurance and comfort to your inner child, offering them the love and support they deserve. For self-discovery, reflect on a recent experience or interaction that challenged your beliefs or assumptions about yourself. What new insights or perspectives did you gain from this experience? Consider a hobby, interest, or passion that brings you joy and fulfillment. How does this activity reflect your values, strengths, and identity? Feel free to screenshot those and save those for later. If you want more journal prompts, Pinterest has so many good ones. I definitely recommend going there to find some journal prompts. Or you can even check out some of my journals that I made on my Etsy store. I have a promo code of 50% off if you want to buy some. The link is in the description if you want to get your own. Finally, to wrap up this video, I want to give you some tips for overcoming the challenges of journaling. A common reason why some people struggle to be consistent with journaling is because they think that they lack the time. Finding time to journal seems like a struggle. Try integrating it into your daily routine. It doesn't have to be an extended period that you are journaling for. Just 5 minutes exploring your thoughts, answering 1 journal prompt a day is good enough. You could do it in the morning, shortly after you wake up, or even right before you go to sleep. Just trying to integrate it into your routine will help you so much when it comes to consistency. Another tip is if you have unhealthy coping mechanisms, perhaps when you're feeling a lot of emotions, you reach for substances to make them go away. In those moments, try to remember that you can express your emotions through writing. If you train yourself to go to your journal every time you're feeling those negative emotions, it's going to help you so much. Not only with consistency, but unlearning those negative coping mechanisms and replacing them with healthy ones. Like any habit, journaling can be difficult to remain consistent with. So make sure that you really set aside time to do this. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay if you can't make it every day, but really just try small steps at a time. You don't need to write pages and pages every day. Just a little bit is fine as you're reinforcing this habit. And eventually, you will get to the point where it's natural for you to go to your journal. That pretty much concludes everything that I have to say for today. That was a lot of content to get through. I hope that really deepened your understanding of why journaling is so important and gave you some inspiration, some techniques so that you can go and journal today. Don't wait till tomorrow, start today. Use some of those journal prompts that I gave you and start reflecting. As you embark on your healing journey, I want you to remember that there is no right or wrong way to journal. It's purely an expression of you. However you want to do it is okay. The most important thing is to show up consistently for yourself. Do it for you. Don't judge yourself and allow yourself to be open and vulnerable when you're writing. That is all that I have to say for this video. If you enjoyed and you want more self-improvement content from me, then check the links in my descriptions for my socials. I'm on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you can join my community where we are consciously creating our lives with intention and love. Anyway, I love you so much. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Mwah.